Good morning. Marching towards a global knowledge-based society guided by Vedic vision and wisdom. In 21st century AD, education will become increasingly highly influenced by the seeker, students' own self-learning, motivation, desires, intellect, memory power, geographical and emotional environment, intuitions, intentions, and ability to choose, grasp, and discriminate information. Studying videos by international experts available on internet. Pedagogic dependence on teachers' teaching skills along with the students' physical classroom attendance will keep on diminishing. In the 21st century, all global communities and societies belonging to all nations will become increasingly dependent on the latest status of knowledge. Knowledge as learned, memorized, believed, and accessed by any living species, including human species, is limited in several factors, such as one's own limited lifespan, family background, historical time period, geographical location, environmental circumstances, and intellectual capability, etc., etc. The word Veda means knowing, understanding. Vedic philosophers have given highest priority to learn, understand, and act accordingly. Vedic suggests vision, wisdom, and knowledge-based recommendations can therefore provide increasingly useful guidance for living in a knowledge-based living style to all societies all over the globe. In the forthcoming decades of the 21st century, 24 by 7 availability of international experts coaching videos, libraries of books and journals, communication links, experts, friends, distance education facilities of international universities, etc., will dominate the educational transfer of knowledge from the mobile in one's pocket or on a laptop in his lab to the attention of any learner at his own willpower, motivation, and convenience of time. In Vedic philosophy, learning and higher levels of happiness, enjoyment, and getting rid of lowering of the levels of all sources and varieties of feelings such as sorrows, grievances, unhappiness is identified as the main motivating driving force which governs the activities performed by each living organism, including a vast majority of the human species. Unhappiness can be physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, moral, ethical, etc. Exact and perfect knowledge about any topic is known to be humanly impossible. It is believed to be known only by Mother Nature or Lord Brahma. That is why called as Pradhanam Brahma in Vedic terminology. Therefore, status of knowledge in human species is always incomplete or partial. Knowledge as a basis for social behavior pattern is also therefore always in an evolving status. The knowledge-based behavior patterns and disciplines recommended to be followed by all persons are always having design and frame for maximization of social welfare, social prosperity, social happiness. Bahujana Sukhaya, Bahujana Hitaya. Almost all future circumstances. Therefore, there are a lot of overlapping similarities in such recommendations or rules and regulations, and this is because of the government bodies and medical yoga-based healthcare prescriptions. The non-overlapping dissimilarities are mainly due to evaluation of knowledge, variations in the environmental conditions due to geographical location, sun cycle, etc., etc. Jnana is always a nature scope of variations such as Adhyana, Pradhana, Siddhana, Vijnana, Viparidhana, Vastatvic Dana, Rajasic Dana, Tamasic Dana, etc., etc. In English, these terms can be equated to knowledge, ignorance, vague knowledge, inaccurate knowledge, wrong knowledge, etc. A human individual actually is in possession of a mixture of all such varieties of knowledges, information about most of the topics, T1, T2, T3, etc. Let KIT represent the total knowledge understood and memorized by an individual I at an instant of time t. Then KIT is equal to KT1, KT2, KT3, etc. Further, a society consisting of a collection of n such individuals, has summed up level of knowledge KST accessible at any instant of time t, using the formula KST is equal to sigma of KIT. Average or average of the KIT index as KASJ for society Sj can be assessed using the formula KASJ is equal to 1 by n into the sigma KIT. Average knowledge average index can be used compared to formula using this formula. Similar in Vedic terminology, Vidya is also classifiable as Vidya, Avidya, Suvidya, Kuvidya, Sadvidya, Asadvidya, Satik Vidya, Rajik Vidya, Tansik Vidya, etc. etc. In Vedostic text, Avidya is known as the technical knowledge or skill in the fields such as medical, engineering, music, sports, management, etc. etc. Learn bread and expenses is avidya useful. Education, maintenance of good health, etc. of one's family. Vidya, on the other hand, is philosophical and theoretical knowledge, useful for understanding the underneath immoral principles, leading to mental satisfaction and moral happiness. Both Vidya and Avidya, formally earned by every individual, can be noted via their degrees, etc. In Vedic philosophy, to live a comfortable enough human life is recognized as a very difficult circus of walking on a razor. Vedic sages have therefore appealed for every living being to get up, awaken, and approach an education institution to learn, and which is essential for the possession of a long-living, healthy, prosperous, happy life. Vedic philosophers have therefore recommended every individual to make efforts and work hard to earn vidya. Avidyaya amritam tirtva, vidyaya amritam asmate. Further, there are possibilities of wide differences of knowledge-based opinions and conclusions derivable from the same set of latest available data, which also maintains the probabilistic instrumental measurements and Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, instrumental experimental limitations, observed effects, disturbance caused by the observed system on the act of observation. A society is a group of human personalities which something has something common. For example, the residential locality, or a profession like scientific research, or engineering, or medical, or legal practice, etc. Knowledge-based society is a group of human personalities who are devoted to use latest knowledge for all their activities. Among all the human activities, majority are aimed at a motivated by human desire of Sauksham Sampadanam Dukkha Nivaranam, earning happiness, reducing unhappiness, and yoga activities to achieve this aim are summarized as an appropriate diet combining fasting with balanced, healthy, treating, tuned, periodical seasonal variations, and one's own age, BMR, etc. Appropriate activities including yogasana, sports, exercises, appropriate activities including entertainment, appropriate disciplinary daydreaming, and activities including planning one's goals, appropriate self-learning and self-control with understanding of one's own capabilities and limitations of due to age, sex, etc. Yuktahara viharascha, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta sapna avavavasascha, yogo bhavati dukkha. Earning divine and moral credits and washing away of sinful moral discredits, Punya Arjana, Pava Praksharana have been a popular way of orienting a majority of common man-type human population belonging to all faiths and religions all over the world. In the Upanishadic, Puranic, Shastra-based living style recommendations to praise, please, appease, and praise the God Supreme is described as Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, that is a real truth, not a fiction of imagination, divinely life force, and full of divine happiness. All yoga techniques and Navavidha Bhakti activities are described as steps to approach and reach the position of supreme peak happiness or a theoretical state of zero level of unhappiness, liberation from unhappiness. The requests made to the God are aimed at liberation, mukti from deadly diseases, accidents, etc. Mrityoho mokshihi, mahamrita, not at all. Moksha from prosperous, healthy, present living conditions. Among other motivating forces, all moral, legal, and good ones can be clubbed together, as well as all bad and immoral emotions also can be clubbed together. Both these motivations can either cause sufferings or bring happiness. Unhappiness, Vedopanishadic philosophy based yoga, Vrata Upavasa, dieting, facilities, enjoyment are popular practices originally designed and brought to social, physical, moral, emotional health. Understanding their original intentions and promoting their performance in a modernized fashion can improve the quality of living and standards and global knowledge-based society with maximum possible global peace and happiness. Every animate species likes to live in the state of minimum unhappiness. Therefore, the desire of occupying a level of lower and lower possible unhappiness works as a emotional motivating force for all the animate species. This natural tendency can be viewed as the law of minimum unhappiness potential in the field of psychic, intellectual, moral, emotional activity thermodynamics. Just like the flow of water from the clouds at high gravitational potential to the Earth's surface and to the ocean, or electrical current by the movement of electrons from the highest negative terminal to the positive terminal, the flow of thermal energy from high temperature body to a low temperature body. Living species get motivated to act in similar fashion, which they believe would lower their unhappiness potential. Motivating forces, law of minimum unhappiness potential, causes or motivates these animals to act in such a way as, for example, drink water when they are thirsty, eat food when they are hungry, to migrate from locations to locations, sleep and rest whenever they feel tired and exhausted. All these can be called as neither divine nor demonic, but normal, neutral activities. Good knowledge and good moral emotional intentions lead to intentional divine sattvic activities. Intellectual partial incomplete understanding or misunderstanding or misconception or tendencies to earn cheap popularity lead to rasic activities. Ghatam vindyat, patam chindyat, कुर्यात् रासभरोसनम येन केन प्रकारेण प्रसिद्धा पुरुषो भवेत् lead to unintentional semi-demonic activities. Bad emotional belongings, extremist thinking tendencies, and laziness, etc., lead to intentional demonic activities, tamasic asuri activities. As per the Vedic philosophic definition, yoga is either an addition, that is, for the 4 plus 3 is equal to 7, is an addition, or contribution, or a binding link between the God Supreme and the individual personality. Hundreds of yoga techniques are mentioned even in a small 700 stanza book like a Bhagavad Gita. Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raj Yoga, only 4 have become most popular. Spirituality motivated divine activities, devotional love and service, and disciplined behavior pattern are the 4 major tying up ropes for establishing this linkage. Says Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras has summarized the Upanishadic teachings on Raj Yoga, or in Bhagavad Gita called Atma Sanyam Yoga, in 8 steps, Ashtanga Yoga format, which has become globally well known and appreciated. However, out of the 8 steps, only physical yogasanas, postures, and maximum popular, and pranayama and meditation are 2 other steps which are somewhat practiced also. But yogasana, postures, And pranayama procedures need to be knowledgeably avoided under certain health conditions. For example, pregnancy, high fever, high BP, spondylitis, hernia, etc. Further, the first two foundation laying stones, the Yama and Niyama, in this eightfold Ashtanga Yoga, containing self-discipline and moral measures which inculcate good personal and social hygienic practices and good moral character. This basic behavior is being neglected, not being practiced much. Global reports should be made to popularize these disciplines in the students. Children of forthcoming generations should intellectually understand and believe that these self-disciplinary rules are essential features of global knowledge-based society. Vratopavasa or Ekadashi, Shivratri, etc., fasting, and a fortnightly, monthly, or annual periodicity. Theoretically, these practices are physically dieting measures coupled with emotional attachment with the supreme divine power. This combination ensures maintenance and regaining of the improved physical, mental, emotional health. Langanam Paramasanam, meaning fasting is the best medicine. This is the Ayurvedic principle. And now it is also being used mainly by the naturopathic system. Vratopavasa performances coupled with some spiritual archana, yajana, variety of yoga-based performances are recommended as disease preventive measures to improve and maintain body mass ratio, increase disease immunity level. Yajana are in a essential several karma yoga variations, and Dravya Yajna is mostly practiced today, which is a cooperative effort to request the Supreme God to magically ward off something. Most of these Utsava festivity celebrations are linked with the Vratovasa practices. For example, fasting on Ekadashi is accompanied by feasting on the next day, Dadashi. That is a Vrata Udya Uppana. This way, a vitaminously enriched food diet is ensured as a recommended format of Naivedya, Tirtha Prasada. These performances are usually recommended to be enjoyed with a small or big family or social get-together. Walking is recognized as the simplest, best exercise and is easily adoptable by large population belonging to almost all ages. Millions of pilgrims practice them annually on fixed days. For example, Kashi Vishweshwara at this one on Navratri, Sabaramalai temple on the Makar Sankranti, or Pandharpura Vitthal temple on Ashadhi Ekadashi or Kartika Ekadashi, etc. These walks accompanied by bhajan, kirtan, gayan, pravachan, etc. are practices practiced by the masses, by this one. They will learn saintly divine literature and spiritual Vedopanishadic principles during this period. 12 Jyotirlingas and 54 Shakti Pithan are some of the other most popular Shaiva and Shakta Tirtha Swaraj or temple masses. Tirtha Tirtha Nirmalam Brahma Vrindam. Vrunde Vrunde Tatra Charchanuvadaha. Vade Vade Jayate Arthabodhaha. Bodhe Bodhe Basate Chandachudaha. Explaining the basic theoretical principle concept behind this Tirtha Yatra. This is beautifully done in a poetic style by Adi Shankaracharya. Vedopanishadic philosophy also recommends performances of 16 religious rituals on every child, starting with its inception and disposal of person's dead body. Now, this is not possible to explain all this in this time period. Vedopanishadic philosophy defines and recognizes supreme total correct knowledge as a form or nature of the supreme God. Prajnanam Brahma. Vedopanishadic philosophy and all Vedic yoga techniques try to lead the performer to a psycho-emotional, psychosomatic, physical and intellectual position as near to the God Supreme as possible and recommend a knowledge-based living style. Yukta Hariharascha, Yukta Chestasya Karmasu, Yukta Supnavabodhascha, yoga, bhavati dukkha, worshipping styles, yajna, yaga, yajana, bhajana, etc. are all aimed at approaching closeness with the Supreme God, which is Pradnanam Brahma or Paramananda Sarva Brahma. Good moral emotions initiate, motivate good divinely creditworthy divine activities, while bad moral emotions initiate and motivate bad selfish sinful activities. Vedopanistic philosophy recommended major divinely creditworthy activities punya karmaha, yoga, yajana, yajana, vratopasa, etc. Performances of 16 sanskar rituals, etc. In this modern world, more and more personalities, even atheists, may get attracted to practice this type of Vedic recommendations and moral measures with their own some modifications. Authors wishes to thank the 14th Wave International and 24th Wave India Conference organizers for choosing an excellent theme for this webinar, virtual conference and the opportunity provided to me for presenting these thoughts. Author also wishes to thank friends like Professor Shashi Tiwari and Professor Prabhakarji for giving me some good suggestions. Thanks.